Hello everyone, this is Lord Shadrach speaking. I'm making yet another video in regard to Christian. Now this comes in light of Jordan Owens' video in regard to Christian. First of all, Jordan Owens, I thank you for the shout out. I thank you for mentioning me. That means a lot to me. I'm very grateful for that. However, in regard to Christian, it is my belief, in my opinion, that Christian, regardless of the outcome, should be locked up. And I'll tell you why. I know it sounds harsh, but here's something to consider. Christian's grip on reality is so loose, it's fleeting. Here we have a guy having multiple marriages with his fictional characters, and it's abysmal that this guy is living like this. Now, I know a lot of people are going to make a comment about me and say some comparisons and everything, but I am so worlds above Christian that that compared to me, he's just pathetic. But here's something to consider. Christian needs to be put in an institution. Not only because his grip on reality is loose, and I'll talk about that in an instance, but here's something to consider. Barb is very old, and Barb may not be around much longer. And with that factor in mind, there will come a time when Barb will die, and because of Christian's very loose grip on reality, he is not going to know what to do. He is not going to know how to make funeral arrangements, how to deal with a will, and even how to pay his own bills and live his own life. This guy, in the way of Christian, really needs to be put in a mental institute because Barb is not going to be around much longer. And with the financial situation that they're facing right now, it's evident that Christian does not know how to handle his own money. Christian really needs to get his act together, but like I said, it may be too little too late for him to even consider that. Because he's so far gone in his own fantasies that there's no hope for him. And like I said before, Christian's grasp on reality is not helping him, considering that it was never there to begin with, because now Christian believes in dimensional merges. He's been gaslighted and coerced by trolls for a good portion of his life. And now, considering the fact that, he's in prison, or in jail rather, because of his alleged abuse of his mother, Barb, it is of my belief, in my opinion, that Christian should be locked up regardless, and here's why. The guy has no grasp on reality. The guy literally has no means of supporting himself and has no marketable skills to get a job, has never even thought about getting a job, and just wants to live with his own little fantasies and everything like that. And it's not going to help him. I mean, putting his Sonichu stuff on his resumes are not going to help him, because an employer is going to look at that and say, and just laugh at it. Or the amount of information about Christian that's on the internet would dissuade anybody from having anything to do with him. I mean, would you want to hire a guy like Christian knowing his internet infamy? Of course not. I wouldn't. I would sit down and say, what's going on, dude? What's going on here? But still, I would be very cautious in hiring him if I was an employer. And that says a lot about me. But I believe that Christian should be locked up in an institution, because that way, at least he will have a place to stay. So that when Barb dies, at least he'll have a place to be where he can get the help he needs, and above it all else, he's not living on the streets talking about the dimensional merges and Sonichu and everything like that. Because what's going to happen is Christian, with his bad management of money, is going to end up on the streets the second that Barb dies. When Barb dies, Christian's world is going to fall apart, and it will be disastrous. So I state, for the love of all that is good and great, that Christian should be institutionalized. He really needs to. It would help him a lot, and it would probably get him off the internet, and it would give him the help he needs, and to top it all off, at least he won't be living on the streets. And from the looks of things, Christian is headed in that direction. And that's what's going to happen to him in the future. In closing, institutionalization would be the best thing for Christian. That's all I'm going to say about that.